Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary finest and hellions of all walks of life. My name is Javante, a resident TTRPG goblin, and we are back with episode 6 of Set Sail, a One Piece 5e game. I lost all track of what I was saying. My brain don't work too good today.
I think we're all in that place right now.
We're all in a place of where brain don't work too good. That's fine. We're gonna just pretend to not be people for a little while and just be pirates. Um,
Kind of
this
want to
is
be pirates at the moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go around and introduce ourselves real fast, starting with uh I'm just going to point. Paige.
Hey everyone, I'm Paige. I am playing Scarlet Rabot, a merfolk martial artist. We both go by she, her. Can you tell
Arc.
my enthusiasm today, guys?
Hello, everyone. I am Ark or Arc Like Court. Uh, uh, Pronouns he, him, and I am playing Core or Anchor Rhodes. I'm our guest character. Pronouns he, they.
That's what you think.
Yeah. Rob.
Hi, my name's Rob. I go by he, him pronouns, and I am playing Trent Simmons, resident duelist and lovable idiot.
Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan or Red Panicola. Pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Dreki.
And last but certainly not least, Luke.
My name is Luke. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Ren, part-time human, full-time scientist.
And we're going to just jump right in as last we left off after the crew was pulled into the island city of Arcanium, and having met Core and also a member of Core's crew in a very shaky confrontation. They've been cajoled by Vala to help them with getting essentially becoming bodyguards for her to get to the massive obsidian poneglyph obelisk at the center of the island on the top of the pyramid structure. With the promise of berries, as well as potentially, and as Vol has been hinting, most likely meeting Guillotine along the way. But the party's been invited over to their current manor home, which, as we open up, is where we kick things off as the party is just outside of a massive Victorian-esque structure, uh, very well made and well organized. This place for Core, for your benefit, this place was very empty prior to Vala coming in, and you can already see like a lot of stuff being moved inside of the building itself. Um, it used to be the manor home of one of the nobles that lived here before they disappeared. And it seems to that Vala has decided to take it upon themselves to use it for their sort of base of operations.
Looks like you picked the best place to set up shop.
I'm a woman with very specific tastes.
Very beautiful taste. Fits the woman.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
I'm hoping.
Come in, make yourself at home. As she opens the door with her tail. The inside is just as immaculate as the outside. There's kind of like tarnished hardwood flooring, uh, a lot of paintings on the wall that she seems to have moved in. Uh, where some stuff is still being moved to the upstairs by some of her remaining like individuals, a lot of it is still already like readily placed around the facility properly. uh and as she walks over to the back of the room, her tail snakes around and it hooks around a bottle of wine, which she tugs off of the shelf and sets down, as a few smaller snakes are carrying in wine glasses. Need to send anyone in a drink?
Absolutely.
Not
You have?
Scarlet grabbing her head in pain. No, I'm good. Do you have any water?
I'm okay.
Can I interest you in one then, friend?
Oh, yes, of course, please.
She looks over to Dreki.
That may be a bit rich for me. No offense.
None taken.
Wine's not my thing.
None taken. She pours 3 glasses of wine for herself, Trent, and Core, and then a glass of water for Scarlet. The snakes carry it all over to them.
You see Trekkie kind of like lean down towards Scarlet. Is that your first drink or something?
Shut the hell up, Dreki.
As far as how the wine tastes, it's not. It's for those that have had Skypian wine. This is not Skypian wine. It is a very full-bodied wine. A lot richer in quality than anyone was really, I think, expecting. It's fine. It's not the best you've ever had, but it serves its purpose.
It's not water. It's all that matters to me.
It's delicious and I appreciate it.
You're not a fan of water, are you, Core?
No, not in the slightest. Water's for exploring.
She takes a delicate sip.
Isn't it true that our bodies are mostly water?
Looks to Ren to like get the balance right.
Uh, yeah.
But yes, I prefer wine as well.
So, I do know of you. She flicks her tail over to Core. Your crew and reputation precedes you. I know of some of you as individuals, but traveling together, are you all a crew?
They are. I'm freelancing until the crew's back together.
Yes, we sort of this was a recent development that we joined together.
Seeking fame, glory, escape.
Sure.
Something like that.
Primarily the fame thing, yes.
Aren't you already that?
I would imagine that the Skypian famous Trent wouldn't need any more glory.
You're too kind. You're too kind. But it seems that my name is not very well known in these parts. I'm out to fix that.
We get very few from the Sky Islands on the that I've referred to as the surface.
Is there down here on the oceans a dueling circuit like there is up in the Sky Islands? This is not entirely relevant, I apologize, but we haven't had a chance to stop and speak for a moment.
There is the Gold League. It's a sort of traveling arena for aspiring duelists and champions. They'll
You have a
probably
lovely home.
It
Sounds
serves its
like up your
purpose
alley,
for now.
Trent.
What was that, Dreki?
Sounds like it's up your alley.
I believe so, yes. It would be nice to... Battles are one thing, but it would be nice to have a single opponent again. There are certain forms, there are certain traditions that are comforting to me.
Yeah, brawls tend to be a little messy.
That's
I
the
know-
best part about him.
I know that the Keel Hall tournament will be happening relatively soon. Plans should be going up about that shortly.
I'll keep my eyes open.
But those are interests for people that have far greater skills at hand-to-hand than I do. My interests lie much more in knowledge. That's why I'm here.
That was just what I was about to ask. What all are you expecting to gain from the poneglyphs as you decide for them?
Information, specifically on the older cultures. Everyone else is seeking out the Grand Line and the One Piece for whatever reasons, but the Grand Line holds a lot more secrets that fascinate me. Specifically, the older cultures, older weapons, older artifacts, cities that long since buried, things like that.
Well, people are interested in Roger's fame, so I'm sure that's a driver.
Of course. Always has been. Besides, say I do find the things I'm looking for. It just benefits me that I get to be the first one to put my name on that. I get to say that I discovered this.
That is true. More fame at the realization of the value of the things that you find, maybe more than what the one piece might actually be worth.
I'd like to think that the pursuit of knowledge is a far more agreeable aspect than anything else.
I just hope it doesn't drag you into any trouble.
Oh, I've done that to plenty, which is why I've been able to defend myself. But I do like to have other, much more capable people watching my back.
Well, then you're in luck. We're at least one of those things.
I'm hoping capable.
Well, you know I'm dependable.
Very long sip of her water.
What exactly will we be guarding you from?
Just because I have tried to keep myself outside of the purview of others who would seek out knowledge for ill intent does not mean that I haven't made my share of enemies.
Any of those enemies here? Or are these more natural things we're defending against?
Yes to both.
People or monsters?
Yes to both. There are
Would one of
definitely
them
creatures.
be of particular note in this area?
You're asking if I made enemies with guillotine.
I have to ask.
We aren't fans of each other. Though that's more for principle's sake than anything else.
I don't think he has many fans to begin with.
I happen to have worked for an associate of the Hand in general. And when we stopped working together, mutual problems arose, and guillotine threatened my life.
Yeah, he does that a
Seems to be a
lot.
habit of his. Yes.
Who were you working with?
As I've said, I've had my encounters with Sky Islanders. A Lunarian, last name Anger.
Yeah.
Why does that sound familiar?
Do you
We should-
remember when we got that call?
Furiosa, I believe it was.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Furiosa D. Anger? Yes.
Yep. Yeah, we know. We know of them.
Lunarians have a habit of thinking themselves quite literally above the rules of everybody else.
Not always.
Not always.
I mean, I'm sure that can be said for anybody.
True.
To be fair, me and Furiosa cut ties not out of any ill reasoning. But the loss of business transactions with any member of the Hand can prove to be dangerous. That, and I think that Guillotine is an idiot who's far too self-obsessed for his own good. And I told him as much.
Beautiful and smart.
I like her.
I have also made enemies on the other side of things. What I'm doing is not exactly legal. So the Marines are also on me. I haven't seen any here, and I'm going to assume that's due to Guillotine's influence.
I mean,
That's-
doesn't bother me.
I know the feeling.
There's a few standing reasons currently. You know, a whole Leviathan showing up at any foreseeable moment would definitely keep any of the militant type away from this area.
Isn't he trying to
Right.
get that to show up?
Yes.
I'm sure that has a lot to do with it then too.
And then and then I have different enemies, which I'm not going to bore you the details on that one.
You could bore me all night.
Who are she smiles a little bit like,
This guillotine.
yes.
If we encounter him, I know there are some in our crew that are very interested in destroying him, but I don't know anything about his capabilities. I've never seen him fight. How do I put this? How
What are we
capable is he
expecting,
on
and
his
how is he
own?
gonna
How
come at
capable is he
us?
of a fighter?
Trent, I want you to think of someone who has a complete disregard for the safety and rules of dueling, who
Oh, I
bears
saw history.
no care for the audience or the fairness of the battle, and wants to remove each finger by its bend, each limb from its connection, and 1,000 bloody cuts before you get a chance to escape.
I'm assuming Saw before we arrived isn't far off from what we can expect.
So if we encounter him, do we flee or do we fight? Scarlet, I already know what your
mean-
answer would be.
In practical terms, though I may dislike a guillotine, I'm not going to deny his skill in combat. Guillotines taking out entire pirate crews by themselves. Not to mention, as far as I know, that they are the only member of the hand that does not have a devil fruit. Guillotine doesn't need one.
Well, I'm still gonna kill him regardless.
I fully believe that you will. I don't deny anyone here's skill. If you want to fight guillotine if you encounter them, so be it. I'll just warn that they're not exactly going to just roll over and die.
That made it more fun.
And it won't be a fair fight.
Who said I was fighting fair?
I didn't think you would. But his rules are non-existent.
Well, he's coming for me regardless. Might as well cut him off. We both are looking for each other.
I don't think it's just you anymore.
Well,
No, after what he did to that island. But I just don't think we're ready.
No. We need the numbers. We need crews. We need tactical minds. More than proficient swordsmen. Strength, technique, knowledge as he's pointing between everyone in the crew. It's a lot more than just a singular front to face him on.
That is, of course, saying that we encounter him at all. I'm hoping to be able to get to the Poneglyph before they decide to show up. Once
Hope for
there,
the best, plan for the worst.
I'll make my etchings and do my translation back here, where I have a hint of safety.
If need be. How large exactly is the obelisk that you intend to get your etchings from?
Oh, it's quite massive. She thinks about it for a moment. At least 2 of Dreki.
How much of it do you need? And you just need the rubbings, right?
Correct.
I mean, if there's a risk high enough, we could always just get it for you.
When I have a way to get from one location to another very, very quickly, if needed,
If you're suggesting to do half my job for me and just get the etchings and be back here, I'm not opposed.
Would you be willing to do so in exchange, at least for myself? Getting in contact with members of his crew to maybe have a conversation with you about how historically transcendental calling the Leviathan here in correlation to the Poneglyphs in whatever way you wish to flower the conversation, but very specific crewmates.
She's gonna do an insight check on you real quick.
Why ever would she do that? This is a totally normal conversation.
I've been nothing but charming and wonderful with her.
Uh-huh.
She's trying to place like you're trying to do something very specific, and she's trying to place exactly what that is.
I mean, I have proven myself, as far as our relations have been, fully capable
It's
and
not the-
willing to work for much less.
It's not the capability part that I'm curious about. People fascinate me. You're very different from where I'm from.
I'm very different from a lot of people.
What exactly are you looking for me to get into contact with?
I'm looking for you to get in contact with 3 people that I know to be on this island that are currently working for Guillotine. A cyborg named Mono Mono, a very powerful Huga woman named Ori, and a human named Bering.
As it'll take me at least a day to get all my things set up in here, I'll see if I can send some people out to at least get into contact and try to arrange a meeting of some sorts.
However flowery you make it, you can again extend my payment portion you would have provided to yourself for these conversations.
I make no promises. I'll try my best.
That's all I ask. You seem capable.
I am nothing about. The manor is yours. There's plenty of rooms for everyone to set up, including spare bedrooms if you'd like to have a place of respite.
Of course. Which one's yours?
She smirks a little bit. That is, I'm going to say, private information for now.
Just so I don't interject into a room that's already claimed.
I'm taking the master bedroom up on the 2nd floor.
But I'll be down the hall.
I appreciate that. There's plenty of rooms on the 2nd and 1st floor, and if one chooses to use the basement for anything, it is available. I only ask that you not touch all of my equipment. As for
Fair to
me,
me.
I apparently have some people to see if I can help gather. Feel free to make yourselves at home, as she lifts herself from the bar.
Just before leaving, do you have a map or a pathway already in mind?
Her tail flicks onto the table as you see she's kind of sketched out a rough map of the location and where she's heading.
Thank you.
If you'll
Oh,
excuse me. Yes.
Is there a training area?
The
A map?
basement's open enough that you could probably utilize it.
Thank you.
Or we'll slide that sketching over to Ren.
He waits to see if anyone else has anything to say, and then if not, she is going to head to the door.
Did she leave the bottle on the table?
The bottle is still there, and there's a half full bottle of wine.
Once the door clicks closed behind her, Core immediately lets out a breath, grabs the bottle, and just starts chugging it.
At the same time, Ren goes, "Does anyone know anything about this woman other than what she just told us?"
Not a thing.
Never seen her.
Poneglyph specialist. She's got her own ship out there, from what I can tell. A handful of nameless, faceless members of her coterie, and has in a healthy affiliation with serpents. She commanded at least several hundred of them to help move crates earlier today before you got here.
Hmm.
Clearly a woman of means.
Yes.
Right. I just after the conversation we've just had, what I know about her is that she no longer works with Furiosa, and they broke apart amicably, and that her concern about Guillotine is that he is too driven or something,
Yes.
which seems like the wrong thing to be worried about. And now we're staying in the
I
snake.
think it depends on how he's driven and for what.
She's a Poneglyph specialist. She could, if he wanted, he could take her captive and force her to decipher any of the poneglyphs or navigational, poses in order to get through the Grand Line that are connected to the One Piece.
This word has come up multiple times at this point, and I don't believe I've ever received any sort of explanation as to what a poneglyph is.
One of these, and I pull out the tablet that I already had her look at. For
I
me.
saw the picture that you had. I
have an
saw
actual
the
piece of the tablet. Like that's what
Oh,
was in
that's-
my
that's
thing.
right.
Yeah, I have a tablet.
That's right.
It's
I've
on a
seen
smaller
the
one.
glyphs, but what are they supposed to mean, and why are they so valuable?
They have all the
They're-
information.
They're an ancient language, the undeciphered or at least only partially deciphered, and more times than not, they lead to very historical locations or items or treasure, or I've heard of even some of them leading people directly to devil fruits.
Yeah. I mean, she looked at this one that I have, and now we have a lead on Puppet King Island, which is wild.
And I'm sure I've seen such a thing at least once, even up in the Sky Islands. So, but I never thought to ask what they were for.
Trent, give me a history check.
History check. I'm bad at this.
Hey, Javante,
Yeah,
would I have potentially seen one of these on Lofton?
give me a history check.
Lofton?
I will get a 13.
There is a well-known, at least from one of the Sky Islands, there's a well-known like slab of a tablet that is pretty massive that has undecipherable text. That has been there since the island was like founded as a city.
Interesting. Which island was this?
This is, hold on, let me look up the name.
If a 13 gets me that.
And I got a 12.
One moment. The island in specific for that would be Wetheria or Wetheria. What did you get, Dreki?
12.
There's like fragments. The problem with the lot of these poneglyph tablets is that they tend to get taken as opposed to just etchings made. Those that study them tend to just take the entire thing.
Oh yeah, I think I recall seeing broken pieces around.
The thing, the possessions of these tablets is often taken by specifically the world government. So
I would know that specifically.
yes.
Oh yeah, that explains why she said that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hiding that you own like a piece of a poneglyph is kind of turbo illegal. So
Oh, cool.
And
Go-
also
Go for
being
me.
able to decipher them by
Mhm.
any
That-
means whatsoever becomes a big. You're a
Having
black
one is
hat
turbo
hacker.
legal.
Mhm.
Being able to read them is like 3 steps above that.
Yeah.
There's a reason why somebody's backstory sucks so bad in the main series. But oh yeah, that right. So it's definitely a good thing the Marines aren't really focused on that ponograph. World government doesn't like them. Doesn't like people going after them.
They don't like people knowing.
No.
That's why the Cap turned against him.
It was one of them.
He was raised to be one of them. And just before his entrance into the Marines, he was given the, spiel, the we're protecting people from knowing this, we're keeping people safe by stopping this, and no, he chose against it. His whole family prior to had all been Marines.
Forgive my doubts in the Marines for thinking they're at least not all of them are for protecting people.
Some of them believe it.
I'm
I
sure
don't
there are
fault
good
them all.
ones, but
As a whole, nah, I like being free. Trent, you said you wanted to get some training in.
Yes, and I had a few questions for you, Core. In fact, if you have a few moments and you don't mind.
Absolutely. Is walking towards wherever the stairs are to the basement.
The stairs down to the basement, yeah. Yeah, Trent will get into step and we'll head on down there. Hopefully there's a fairly clear spot that she did mention don't touch any of my things down there, so hopefully there's a relatively clear spot.
So to start off, the basement is freaking massive. As it covers the span of the manor. Uh, a lot of her stuff is like encircling the basement. There's a lot of what seem to be sort of makeshift machine parts that have been set up in a very specific way. Old readings that she's made that she's just like piled in a corner. Everything is organized chaos. But then the center is pretty cleared out.
Any of the empty wooden crates that are just like in a corner or something?
Yes.
Okay. What's the preferred arena? The circle, square, octagonal?
I actually don't know the answer to that.
For you, what's your
Oh,
preference?
I don't have a preference. I fought in all sorts of arenas,
Okay. How?
but
We'll start with your questions.
so many questions, as I'm sure you have learned. And he'll kind of roll his shoulders out and he'll start to do a couple of stretches. As I'm sure you've noticed, I know very little about being a pirate, and the crew asked me to be their captain. And I know that that's a big responsibility, and I know very little about being a pirate. So my first very important question, do you think I should get a vest?
Do you want a vest?
I just think it looks awesome, but
Well,
I
thank
don't
you.
know
I
if it would work
appreciate
on my frame.
What?
I'm a little more slender than you are, and I don't know that I would fill the vest out quite as well as you do.
You carry a confidence that is beaming, but there's so much self-doubt in you.
You were able to seduce, well, almost able to seduce Our Lady
Jury's
upstairs.
still out.
Don't try it on me.
We could, if that was what you intended by dueling. There's so much more to you than the the air that you wish to have around you. If you want to wear a vest, wear a vest. Claim it proudly. Do it. Carry that confidence, that same confidence that you have back home, carry it now. For them to look to you and ask you to be a captain means that they see safety, intelligence, tact.
Well, some of them do, perhaps.
Enough of them do.
Do you prefer with swords or without swords?
I use chains.
Oh, fair enough. You don't mind being poked now and again?
Absolutely not. And Core will pull at the vest and using one of the emanations. The vest then turns to chains that wrap around his torso, wrap around his arms and his forearms, leaving links hanging down from it and down his legs over the boots and trousers, leaving a small hood that could be thrown over the head, over the behind him.
I learn more and more about this strange place every day.
This is still new for me too.
And you say you don't have the usual weakness to seawater.
There's freshwater, seawater can stop this
Ah,
for a short period of time until I either get fully dried or I'm no longer, consumed in it or covered in it. But this isn't all of what is me.
also
Just like-
explains your rather unique drink order.
Just like that. Do you have the sword out and in your hand?
Both they're rapiers, and there's two of them. Yes.
Okay. DM, I'm going to use a ricocheting shot that allows my paramecia weapon to attack twice. I want to grapple the
Let's go.
rapiers out of Trent's hands
Let's
and
go.
pull them back towards me.
For the sake of not doing PC versus PC combat, because that will be awkward, go ahead and make that attack roll Trent making an athletics check.
Okay.
Is a 25 for me.
Which would acrobatics be a possibility?
You could
or is
use
it specifically
acrobatics. You could use
athletics?
acrobatics, yeah.
Okay.
You're essentially attempting to avoid getting your weapons grappled.
I am going to use my perception hockey power predict outcome.
Okay.
And I am going to roll again because I did not roll that well. I will also get a 25.
Ooh.
So like I don't know how you want to go with this, but Trent will be able, with his perception hockey, he kind of gets a small flash of what's happening right before it's about to happen. And with a tie, say you knock them out of his hands, but not enough to
pull them
bring
all the way
back
towards
to
me.
you. Like he manages to pull away just enough so that they land at his feet instead of going all the way back to you.
And it's
He'll
perfect
quickly
because
drop to a
it's
knee to pick them back up.
it's perfect too because with the perception hockey, this is almost identical to what he was doing with Mono just earlier in the day. Keep him talking and then just in the middle of it, throw these chains out. For the sake of this, you see like Core's keeping these chains spinning as we're moving around this space, and in between conversation, the chains are connecting with the rapier, and there's a balanced and beautiful dance between the two of us.
As this is happening, back upstairs, what are y'all doing?
I was gonna actually go downstairs and go look at all of Vala's stuff and not touch any of it, but just go look at it.
What are you looking for in specific? And if not, I'm gonna have you roll a D100.
I kind of want to roll a D100, but I'm trying to find out. I'd like get a vibe on this woman because her association's odd, but I get it. but she does not seem to like. I just don't know where she's coming from, and I don't love that we're just hanging out in her house.
Two things. Give me an investigation check and then roll me a D100.
Gotcha. Investigation is gonna be a 14, and then an 11 on D100.
All right. So, as you're sort of as this whole combat is happening, and then we just kind of like camera
Okay.
slightly moves, and yeah, it's just Ren like ducking past some of the stuff and looking through. In one of the crates that should be empty, you find a couple things. You find a couple weathered journals, a very large shed snakeskin, um, and what appears to be a discarded pirate outfit.
Any, certain cruise.
The in the logo on the shoulder are a pair of black wings with a fist rising through the center.
Okay. Guess I'll look through these journals. Just kind of, I'm not sitting down to read all of them, but just sort of flip through and see.
These are with their weathered appearance, these appear to be much older than some of the more recent ones that you've seen. The language is also a lot less scientifically minded. A lot of this seems to be much more personal journals. Um, they seem to detail from the start these were Vala's journals when they were fully a part of Furiosa's crew.
Okay. Cool. All right. She did tell us not to touch anything, so I will put everything back. Kind of keep on moving, keep on poking around, eventually.
If nothing else, the sound of your actions is definitely muffled by the almost like at this point almost constant clang of chain on rapier.
As far as other things that you are finding with that investigation check, quite a few of them are just more rubbings from poneglyphs that have been neatly placed. There are a couple other things that stand out. A few what seem to be broken tracking devices that she has been looking at. There are a couple sleeves of paper from apparently like not Marines, but people from the world government that had been looking for her. That they seem to be missives sent to them that she has intercepted and just kind of kept for herself.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
what you gathered is former pirate for Furiosa's crew, kind of running from the world government, it seems. But also doesn't really seem to have fear of much of anything.
All right. Well, I'll, when I'm done, I'll take my findings back upstairs and just kind of fill the other two in while this duel continues.
Yeah, upstairs. What are y'all doing?
I think Scarlet also doesn't really trust any of this, but instead of trying to search in the house, I'm just going to run a perimeter around the manor for a little bit.
Just running the perimeter. The manor is again very well made and designed. This is a level of rich that's like gaudy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of fine clothing and furniture all laid out in such a fashion that it looks too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is compensation.
Gotcha. Cool.
Jackie, what about you?
You're muted,
You are
my
muted.
friend.
There you go.
There we go. I think he's just gone off, probably with Alice, just to find rooms for the time being. Mostly because
Mhm.
majority of the time he's wearing his gear. I think he just wants to like unload some of it into a room. If they're gonna be relaxing there the night, he just wants to not have to carry everything. So
you can pretty
once he
easily find
does,
like a substantial room.
yeah. So once he does that, he will come back out to kind of like wander and explore. To which, for the first time, you'll see him without his long sleeve over tunic. Instead, he's in a sleeveless under tunic, which is revealing his extensive tattooing. Like his entire left arm is covered in a mixture of knotwork and beasts in that same style. His left arm is well, true to his name, kind of like a serpentine dragon like creature wrapping the entirety of his right arm onto his shoulder and kind of like flows, disappearing under the tunic to about his right pectoral, and then maybe catching hints of what might be a large amount of tattooing on his back, just from the like on the peeking out from the top of his under tunic on his back. Because usually it's all covered up with the rest of his stuff. But you'll also
Alice,
see him without his hammer and sword for once.
Alice crosses over behind you once you come out. She's still wearing the vest that Core gave her, but she is kind of cleaned up her appearance a little bit. Her she's trying to look like confident and serious, but her tail is just wagging.
You know, you're really rocking that vest.
I like it.
That's good. It fits you.
Does this mean I'm a pirate now?
I mean, do you want to be?
I mean, I guess there's good pirates too, right?
It all depends on whether or not you want to help people or not. That's all that matters.
I want to help people.
That's all that matters.
Then yeah, I want to be a pirate.
Alrighty.
And then she probably at this time she sees Ren come up the stairs and gives like a little slight sniff. What's going on?
Well, I was looking through all the stuff we weren't supposed to touch, obviously. And I don't know if I learned anything new, but she definitely worked with, she didn't just work with Furiosa. She was in her crew. And I don't know. I still have this feeling that there's something wrong here.
I mean, in all fairness, I think a lot of things are wrong here.
Well, yeah. I they're having a whole duel downstairs if you want to see that. This new guy with the chains, I feel like we also haven't addressed him.
You're right about Core?
I'm worried about many things all the time.
I felt that. I feel that.
Yeah.
You smell nervous like a lot.
I don't know how. Noted.
Does
Um,
Alice have observation hockey?
No, she's just a child. She's blunt as fuck.
She's
Alice
just
has a
a
really sharp nose.
it's a couple things. She's a wolf mink, she's a child, so very blunt, but also like Ren is not subtle.
read up. Hmm. Well, yeah, I guess I could chill maybe. Yeah. Um, so I guess everything's fine and I won't worry about it.
I mean, I don't know. That's like the thing I should take from that. I don't know.
I did not hear any of that. Were
Yeah.
other people able to hear that? Was that
I
my
heard it.
was
It
that my
a little,
speaker?
It was a little quiet. But
Like
I heard it.
even
It- no, I didn't mean for you to take it like that. Just
Well, anyway, if we're gonna go do this ponograph, go get the etchings, maybe we can start figuring out how we're doing that. But mm,
there
there's
is
something going on here.
there is a knock at the door.
The front
Don't
door
get
of this huge
past me to
manor.
The front door of the mansion.
We'll know if we're expecting anything.
Scarlet, since you're doing the perimeter, I will say that you get to see this through the one of the side windows. You see standing out front a very tall, like not Drecky's height tall, but for a human still, very tall woman with an oar like on their shoulders as if it's a giant club. Just like using that to tap at the door.
I'm gonna approach.
I think that one of
Actually, can I
close
stealth
friends is here.
and just get like near them in case this is someone bad when they answer the door? Like I'll come around from the side of the house or something.
Give me a stealth check.
It's a 17.
That beats their passive, so
Oh yeah.
that also beats their regular. Yeah, you just kind of see them. They just knock at the door again with the oar and just. This is the right place, right?
I think I'm gonna look at Draki and then just go open the door.
I'll get it. Go get Core.
Okay.
And he'll walk over to the door and go to. I know my. How do I explain this? Try to make it seem like he's not being too suspicious, but like, you know, that whole slow opening. Like you're not expecting somebody.
Yeah, as you open the door, you see standing in front of you a very again, for a human, deceptively tall, kind of broadly built, long, uncut brown hair, very soft, like doe-like features in the eyes and face, but everything else about them seems very sea-worn and intimidating. They have a long, like unbroken chain tattoo that goes from the left wrist up the arm, across the shoulders, down to the right arm. She looks up. Snake Girl didn't mention a bodyguard.
Or his friend.
Core's here. Didn't mention that part either. Can I come in?
Yeah. And he'll open the door and move to the side.
Scarlet, you're just gonna follow from the shadow.
Yep.
All right.
I won't do what I did like the first time. I'm just gonna pop up at some point. Fine.
She steps through and like has to turn her body a bit to get the ore in all the way. And as she does, she plants it onto the ground next to what is essentially the coat rack.
Mhm.
Shrugs off a very similar vest to Core's, and hangs that up on the coat rack. Please tell me I'm not too late for a drink.
Let me go see if I finished that bottle. And he'll find that bottle of wine to see if it's still got any left. No.
Nope.
He'll just kind of like hold it up, which I'm sure is probably smaller in his hand. Uh, um, it's not my place. I don't know where to find any. It looks like they drank it.
Fuck. Red, are you also? Oh no, you went downstairs to get
I
the
ran
others.
I ran downstairs and I'm like,
Mhm.
Core, I think one of your friends is here. The you mentioned a woman named Ori.
Chains immediately disappear.
And yeah, Trent will stop because during the course of this, it's been like action and then talking and then action and then talking. Yeah.
Yep.
So he'll also, wipe his brow and say something along the lines of, how I don't think I've ever had to fend off so many attacks so quickly. Whew.
You did great. Being a captain means handling things on all fronts. It looks like you can do that on your own.
Confidence, right, projected, all of that. I appreciate the talk, I really do. It's good to speak with someone with, actual experience.
Yeah.
What do you know? And he'll turn to Ren and say, is this very important?
I don't know. Core?
I can answer one more question.
Oh no, I was just curious as to what you knew about the Sky Islands, but if Ren has news.
It's sparring and sparing. I've had meetings with people from Skypia and the Sky Islands. Like I said when we met earlier today, I'd heard your name before. It's not uncommon when you share mixed company as consistent as we do.
We don't know enough about the oceans up there. At least most of us don't. Everything I knew about pirating before I came here, and he'll reach into his satchel and he'll pull out like a pulp pirate novel with well-worn pages, came from places like this.
Cannonball Chronicles.
One of my favorites.
Oh, this is a problem.
All right. Well, I believe Ori is here. So if that's
As first mate Ori, and then Core turns and starts going up the stairs.
I just love that both Scarlet and Red and me and Luke are on the same page at all the battle points.
Yeah, Core, as soon as you bound upstairs, Core, you see looking very annoyed the tall Kuja woman.
First mate.
She just turns her head to look over and just kind of just down arm point. Not a first mate anymore. You know that.
But you could be.
We're not having this we're not having this discussion.
We definitely can have this conversation.
We're not.
We are. I paid a good amount of money in order to have this conversation. I traveled a really long way to find you and find Mono and find Bearing.
You have
have this
13 you have 13
conversation.
seconds to finish this exact thought process before I drill you through this wall.
Give me 35 and I'll still let you hit me.
I do not have the alcohol tolerance for this today.
Oh, do you guys
He
want to
pulls
drink?
a small bottle out from his side.
So she hears, "Do you guys want to drink from Scarlet?" She hears, "Do you guys want to drink from Scarlet?" and turns like, "Wait, what?"
I'm at the bar with 6 drinks of rum poured out in front of me. I just slide it down the bar to you.
He looks first to Core and then back. Heads over to Scarlet. Core, you have an idea of why she's trusting Scarlet more than you. It's not just
Yep.
out of those reasons. It is a different reason as to why, and you would know that reason,
Yep.
which is she's a Kuja.
Mhm.
Oh,
As she heads over, picks up the glass and just gives it. Like swig down. Huh. Like looks at what she just drank. Huh.
yeah, it's
You
not
don't know what
bad.
that was.
It's
You don't
not-
know what that.
Not
You
bad.
don't know what that was, do you?
No
Huh?
idea.
That's Red Kegger.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's better than
That's-
when we drank at the bar earlier. So
That should buy me more than 13 seconds.
She looks to Scarlet.
I mean, it's up to you. I don't care.
I mean, how you decided to
Do you want another
down-
one? And I just pour more.
Trent will walk in at this point with a towel around his shoulders.
I'll give you a minute. And
Okay.
she turns and sits.
Captain's not dead.
Uh-huh.
Didn't die.
Uh-huh.
So guillotine never won.
That is incorrect.
That is not incorrect. In order to completely take a crew, you need to kill the captain. Captain wasn't killed. So, rules of the sea state, Cap's still alive.
I cannot stress enough that he couldn't walk. He could barely talk. He wasn't breathing. And if he is alive, he's probably in bed rest right now, right?
But he didn't kill him. So he didn't succeed. Cap had enough strength, enough wherewithal, enough intelligence, enough tactfulness, and trust in us as a crew, knowing these
lost.
rules that we would come back. He gave me the green blood.
And you chose to take it.
Yeah.
This is why I was the first mate and you were not. You realize that, right?
Yes. But I was also the one who made sure that we were safely anchored, that we were all grounded, that we all looked at things from the right perspective, steady, held, and strong.
He just looks up for a moment. You have 35 more seconds.
Go over and pick up the oar and stand and put it right next to her. You wouldn't still be carrying it with the intent of still being who you are, unless you still followed the laws of the sea.
And it clicks her tongue, takes the oar.
Good night.
And what about the rest of you? As she just puts it under her shoulders.
Trent walks forward with his hand extended and he says, "Hi, Scent Trimmins?"
Looks down at the hand, looks back
No,
to Trent.
see, this doesn't work. If I want to spread my fame, I have to use my name. Trent Simmons, very nice to make your acquaintance. Ori, was it?
Looks down at the hand, looks back at Trent. Right,
doesn't-
Ori.
She doesn't really do male interactions unless she has trust, faith, or has seen you in battle.
Fair and
Actually,
valid.
really smart.
Do I know of the Kuja?
Yeah. Kuja are, yeah, essentially, for those that aren't aware, Kuja are essentially the Amazons of the One Piece worlds.
Oh, yeah.
They are terrifyingly strong, exist on an island that is only women. For the purpose of the Set Sail universe, the Kuja do have a empress, which rules over the island partially. Many Kuja that no longer want to stay on the island do end up joining pirate crews. But yeah, part of their rule, they do not trust men unless they have proven themselves worthy of being trustworthy.
Hey,
That's-
Trent,
So valid.
you're gonna have a hard time getting her to trust you.
Well, that's all right. I'm just a hireling at the moment. I don't really need the trust, but you know, just trying to be friendly. And he'll step
Well-
back away from this very large, very intimidating woman.
So
Well,
Sent
looking-
Tremens points over to Dreki.
Just call me Dreki. Have I heard anything about the Kuja? I know at least we'll have somebody strong on her side.
You have the strongest on your side if the berries are right. Points over to Ren.
Ren.
So it is okay to use our names.
And we'll figure it out later.
And she points over to Scarlet.
I'm so
What's your
confused.
name?
I'm Scarlet. Nice to meet you. And I hold out a hand.
She grasps your wrist and shakes it. A pleasure to meet you.
You too.
So, of the group here, which one's the captain?
I
Don't
think
really
we
have one.
technically voted Trent, but he won't do it yet. So
I
We're
don't know
kinda
enough yet.
figuring it out.
we always make Alice the captain.
Alice rapidly shakes her head.
Never mind.
But you have the vest, Alice.
I don't know how to do anything on the sea.
You just yell at
That's my
Trent.
problem.
She looks over to Alice and then back up to the rest. And with another loud knock at the door, kind of just like a
God damn, how many people are showing up today?
she looks up with just the most like, oh, for God's sake. As you hear the loud the loud voice of Mono. Am I at the right place? With that, we're going to take our break. We'll be back in about 10:15.
See you soon.
Yeah.
And we're back. Huh. So, who's going to be opening the door for Mono?
I'm behind the bar. It's not
He
me.
just goes back over to the door.
Got it.
Yes, Drekkies, you open the door and are essentially eye to eye with Mono, who again just looks at you. I'm gonna guess this is the right place.
Uh-huh. He'll just step aside and open the door wider and let him walk into what's about to happen.
All right, Cora. He stops and looks over to Ori.
And what did you say about the whole thing?
We don't want to. We're not going through this.
You're right. We shouldn't, because the first mate's right here, and you'd probably get in a lot of trouble for it.
I'm not the first mate.
We still have a captain.
Congratulations. Not in a crew right now. I'm on a different crew.
No, loyalty still stand true.
I will beat you to death.
I
You
would
could
accept
join
it.
our crew.
She looks over to Scarlet. And looks back over to looks to Drekkie, looks to Ren, looks to Trent, looks down at Alice.
I also look over at them, and I look back at her, and I'm like, please.
Hey.
Plants the ore on the ground. Mono. Well, I doubt this conversation is going to get much worse. There's a smaller knock at the door, like a rapid knock at the door.
Like just as he closes the door, opens it up again, looks down.
You do look down because there is now a regular sized person. Younger. He's pretty young looking. Sort of a mop of unruly hair, spiral glasses. Am I right?
Yes, you're in the right place.
Okay, cool.
Lets him in.
Oh, hey, Core. Oh,
No, we're good. We're good.
Are we? Are we good?
Yep,
Are we?
we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
Closes
Yeah,
the
worry about
door
nothing.
behind him and kind of stands there.
You might as well just leave it open at this point, Drekkie.
Thank you, Drekkie.
I think that's the last one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Aren't the three of you all on the same crew now anyway? What's this tension?
Ori kind of keeps her hand on the oar as Mono just kind of looks away. When the captain lost, and we had been cajoled into he lost.
Didn't lose.
He didn't die, but being
You said it.
unconscious.
You said it.
He didn't die.
You
but
said it.
Being unconscious and on the brink of death is a loss.
You finish every job.
Did he tap out, though, or give up? Or did he just get knocked out? Because there's a difference.
I mean, he wasn't breathing.
You finish every job. You finish it.
Semantics aside, when we were cajoled into being a part of Guillotine's crew, some of us took to our new roles a lot better than others.
And now we have the opportunity. We have the right to reassemble and not be a part of something that we don't want to be. We all chose our captain. We chose to stick together. We chose to work together.
Let's pretend, as Ori pipes up, pretend for a fleeting moment here that I'm not here for this part of the conversation, Core. Let's pretend that. And I'm here because a certain rather charming snake woman offered me berries to help escort her to that obelisk. I'm going to presume the rest of you are involved. Looks over to Scarlet.
Yeah, we're heading there. I'm going to kill your new boss.
I think Scarlet, maybe you
Hey.
should slow down on the alcohol just for a moment.
What?
Maybe you
They
drink a glass
don't.
of
They
water
don't
next.
want to be on his crew. Did you listen to anything she just said like 2 seconds ago?
I don't want to be, sure.
exactly.
It doesn't mean that I can't. It doesn't mean that I'm not obligated to fight you. Like, I will have to fight you if you fight him.
I mean,
Why?
I'd be into that.
Because it's my role.
How many berries to come back?
She kind of like rolls her shoulders back. I don't, it's not berries. That's the thing here. Or
The captain earned your honor and your trust,
you're right. He did.
and so did I. And you
Kinda
wouldn't
gives a,
bet-
like,
and you wouldn't betray that.
Baring raises his hand.
Yes, bearing.
Okay, so do we have a map of where this whole thing is?
Yes. I have everything that you could need for it, Bearing.
Can I see the map?
Once I get a confirmation from Ori and from Mono that there's at least a possibility of us being together again.
Why are we staking the map on that?
Trent is as discreetly as possible gonna pull out his vision dial. He's gonna get a couple of pictures of the tableau before him. Tuck it back away, sit back at the bar.
Let's okay, so we have I mean, I'm all for it because I don't like being under him. Here's a thing. Like I'm completely for rejoining our captain. Here's the thing. Here's the part of this that I'm worried about is I have an attachment to my skin, like being on my body. Like that's a really good thing for me. Like I don't know if anyone else has that little foible, but if I betray Guillotine and y'all lose, he's gonna skin me alive. That's what I'm trying to say here.
I mean, that's fine then. I'm not going to lose. So
You're very, very confident.
Bearing, I've been spending all the time since everything that happened getting people together exactly for this. This isn't all of them.
Yeah.
I got us a ship. We can get to the island where Captain is at and your dad is at. Your dad's been helping get him back into the best fighting shape that he can be, even better than he was before.
So why isn't he here?
Because he thought that I could be the one to bring us back together. It'd be better for you guys to look at me and see everything that I've been doing to get the crew back together than still have the image of what happened in the fight against Guillotine when you look at him. Instead, you can look at me.
Mono kind of nods in his own agreement. Ori just has a very frustrated look on her face.
Instead, you can see me. And Core will put the chained armor on once again.
Yeah, we get to see the nuisance that's actually making things a lot harder for us on our end.
Doesn't have to be hard.
It has to be difficult since I have to keep telling guillotine that we just can't find you as being the reason as to why I haven't been able to hunt you down. I know where you are, Core.
You could have brought me in at any time.
I'm not supposed to bring you in. I'm supposed to kill you.
Then why haven't you hit me yet?
Because I kind of enjoy your company and don't want to kill a crewmate.
Crewmate.
And
I've got a question for you. I'm just
Yep.
an outsider in this. But I'm assuming crews are like family. The family you find. Not just what you're born with. Is this not just helping your family?
Seeing the captain nearly die and we couldn't do a thing to stop that. With this, I have a way of at least making sure that no one else has to suffer like that.
Mono held down a 12-year-old boy over getting clothes to wear. Mono's been
If-
on this island long enough that there's sand in between the plates on his legs. He couldn't even find Bering. Bering, you were on the tall palm tree 3/4 of the way down the island looking out across the ocean, weren't you?
Hey, yeah.
See?
Look, we all. Sure, I miss the concept of being on that crew and being a part of the family again. The difference is, Core, is that the last time the guillotine did that, I'm pretty sure he left the captain alive just so that, he'd have that level of restraint for us. What happens if we betray, join up, and fight him again? Do you think he'll have the same mercy if we lose?
What happens when he thinks you're useless?
I already know what'll happen when he thinks I'm useless, and then at that point, I'll probably deserve whatever happens to me.
And what's any difference? At least this time you're fighting for people you care about.
I have a question.
Go for it, Trent. Still staring down.
Were you at, what was the name of the last island we were at? The one with the tree.
Oh, the one with the minx. No,
Yes. Were you there?
no.
But you know what went on there.
Unfortunately, yes.
And have you been asked to do something similar? And have you done it?
Thankfully, no.
But you will, and you know it.
It'll end up being asked of me. Yes.
And what will
So I'm again very new to this, but I saw the carnage and the cruelty that
We all
Guillotine
did.
leaves in his wake, and I've seen what it does to his crewmates. I've seen it very close hand.
Yep.
And I think it would be wise to consider whether that's what I wanted to become. I understand that there is risk, there is danger in any actions, but to me, personally, the possibility of butchering innocents and hanging their remains on a tree, I'll take death any day of the week over that. That's my piece.
I'd rather be free looking over my shoulder than have blood on my hands and serve someone else. And I'd rather look over my shoulder with my family.
I'll add this. At least you have the chance to fight to get your family back together.
And he'll kind of look down at Alice, sadly.
Twisting my arm a bit.
It's the
Or
truth.
another drink for both Trent and Scarlet.
And Ori, you're not going to let another man try and dictate and tell you the things that you should be doing. Especially one that hasn't earned your trust.
He just lets out a long, annoyed sigh. Meanwhile, Mono and Baring are just like chatting with each other for a moment. I mean, we're in. Baring just
cap-
kind of shrugs.
The captain needs his first mate.
I'll make you a deal, kid. Take me to see the captain, and I'll make my decision from there.
Okay.
Now, since that annoyed twist of the arm is out of the way, who are they? Like gestures to the crew.
They are a group traveling together. They were with Peaches.
Oh, good. Peaches is alive.
Peaches is here. They're at the Salted Anchor. They also have had their run-ins with Guillotine, and once again, I just want to point out, didn't do or complete the task at hand.
Oh. So Core referred you all as a group. So kind of like a little eyebrow cock. You don't think they're a crew, do you, Core?
They got the makings of one.
That's a really easy way of avoiding the answer to that question.
They are.
We're
They just don't
figuring
know it yet.
We've been together for a day and a half, so I think we think of ourselves as a crew, but give us some time.
Which one's the strongest?
I
Immediately
just
points
look
at
up at the
Reki.
8-foot tall dude.
I should have guessed that. You are an alpha. Or
Uh,
have some in you, at least.
at
Looks
least that's what my grandfather says. I definitely grew up with him.
And kind of like
wings.
gestures to Trent. You're the captain.
I suppose so.
Okay.
He is.
Looks over to Ren. Spare food? What are we looking at?
I make
He's
myself
the
useful.
smartest of us.
Oh,
I saw him eat a guy.
I did eat a guy.
He
Oh.
did
It was-
do that.
Extremely disturbing.
oh. As Baring like confusedly looks at Ren,
Don't worry about it.
they probably have the same body build.
Oh,
And then she looks to Scarlet. And you?
I'll show them where to go.
Oh, Navigator. You know, our Navigator can't actually tell which way's north.
That's probably
She
a
looks over to
problem.
Baring, and Baring is just like, it's not that I can't tell without a compass, sure, but like, who the fuck can tell what north is without a compass?
I point to north immediately.
All right, well,
But
actually,
Baring's also
Strachey would
got
do
the
the same
greatest
thing.
eyes.
yeah, I can see from miles. When I'm
I
on a
mean,
boat.
I'm faster than the boat, so I kind of just navigate by swimming ahead of it and then coming back to make sure they're following me.
You also have a mermaid tail.
Yeah,
That's an
I'm
unfair
I'm a
advantage.
merfolk,
Yeah, that's an unfair advantage.
so get good.
What do you
I
mean?
thought so. She's been trying to teach me to swim, but the biology's completely different, so it's not working very well.
You just gotta let me
Oh.
hold you under the water longer. You'll be fine.
I'll show you how.
Oh,
Did Ori ever readjust her hand on the oar after I brought it to her?
no, she's kept hold of it like the exact same way each time.
Okay. Once she does, there's a patch between her hand and the oar.
let's say, just Ori back. Let's say for a moment, and then she looks back to Scarlet and pauses. And like plants the ore onto the ground a little, like seems to be weighing something. Scarlet, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You probably know what I'm going to ask you, don't you?
I have a few ideas.
Okay. Are you stronger than her?
I mean, we captured her.
Doesn't
She-
answer my question.
I mean, I took her down. She only got away because Trent's not very good at his job sometimes, but
First off, I helped bring her in the first place.
and then you let her go.
She got a. We're not
She's-
having this conversation again.
Oh, you're right, Core. They aren't a crew. And she like places the ore back on her shoulder.
It's there.
Look.
They just don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think it's time to stop blaming each other for that.
Does it matter whether we're a crew or not, or are you just trying to divert from whatever you all have going on?
Oh no, see, it's just a curiosity of ours. Drecky's right. Crew means family. But there's more to it than that.
It also means trust, doesn't it?
Exactly. Core may be an annoying whelp, but I also trust Core with my life, which is something that most Kuja wouldn't say. It's
And
not
I would never repeat
because I would kill you.
because I respect you.
You respect that I would kill you. She smiles. The captain's loss looks at Core and like, this is what it is not his fault, it's our fault. Looks to Trent and then to Scarlet. So Rosa getting away, it's not one person's fault. This being said, if you're related to her, not going to put any of the blame on you, but she was strong enough to actually put me on the back foot, so
Yeah. I mean, we were trained the same way. Plus whatever freaky stuff's been done to her since then. I took her weapon though.
I don't know. They took her to some weird ship for a few days, and then after that, she came back.
Yeah, she like bit off her tongue or something.
Then it
Melted
grew
her
back.
way out.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it didn't grow back.
She
probably-
reattached it, yeah.
He stuck it back on, yes.
Oh.
And
Plus
her
she
blood
has some weird shark affinity now.
ate through the floor and the hull.
Oh,
of
the
ship.
the Same Same no Mi. I heard about that.
Oh, she is a devil fruit user.
False fruit by the sounds of it. Again,
She was
went to a
she-
weird ship, came back weird.
She was carried away by sharks once she entered the water since she couldn't swim.
Yeah, that would be the use of the Same Same no Mi. Speaking of weird ships, looks over to Core. It was the one that we'd encountered a while ago. The
Yeah.
weird looked like two front halves of a ship stitched together.
The
That
one we
ship?
got the case from.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. And he pulls at the chains.
Mm.
But it's not like theirs.
Ren, you don't have to make a history check. You know that ship.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
got-
not
question.
like theirs.
Is it obvious on his face?
Ren's not the most subtle of creatures.
It is. Minus one charisma. You got a case from this ship with the two fronts? Was that
Yeah,
what
the and Core will point to Ren's notebook to where he had juxtaposed the notes underneath their notes while they were drunk.
Cool. Very
But
fun.
it's not like there's Doc did something or found a way to work with it differently.
Yeah, I would hope so. The stuff that was on there was terrifying. So
When was this generally?
would have been before guillotine, so months ago maybe.
Yeah, about 5-6 months ago.
Gotcha. Good to know.
Because Doc had like 2 or 3 months with the case before everything.
Well, that's all great and good, and I'm glad that no one ever came after you because of the case, I assume.
Oh, they were definitely coming after us, but we took down one of the whatever their scout ship was that was the first thing that came after us. And then we were out in open sea for Doc to do what he was doing. We ported a handful of times, and then
Yeah.
the stuff with guillotine happened.
Which, coinciding with all of that, I don't think it was a coincidence, but especially since I've had to take people to and from that ship since that point.
You didn't like it, did you?
No, because it's terrifying.
Even more of a reason.
I'm all for taking down guillotine. I'm not going near that ship.
I didn't even say we needed to take down guillotine. You did. I was talking about getting the crew back together, but I am on your side as first mate, following your lead and your orders.
I see what you did there.
I'm following orders, first mate.
You don't stop calling me first mate.
I won't have to.
Are you gonna try to dodge an attack?
Absolutely. I know what she's going to do.
All right,
You don't need perception hockey for this.
All right, give me an athletics check.
I'll actually Misty Step.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's going to violently swing the oar. As you, are gonna Misty Step out of the way. For those around her, you actually feel the shockwave of the swing. Is as it
Yeah, I think she's tall enough. It just goes over my head, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fucking tight.
How long is that oar?
Trent,
It's a pretty decent oar.
It's a pretty decently
time
sized
to look
oar.
up
Is
at
the oar
Dreki.
taller than me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
How far away from me is she?
I think
Trent will
she's
Trent will look up
probably-
at Dreki and be like, I feel a lot better about our chances now.
she's probably it's just far enough that I think it doesn't touch you, but it may gently graze you.
And you can't really lean back because you're like, I have him positioned right in front of the door. So it's just like barely.
And then we'll move right back in front of Ori.
Yeah, I agree with you, Trent.
Learned a lot. I've gotten a lot stronger. You've gotten you've gotten stronger than I could have ever possibly perceived you to be beforehand.
You're choosing your words very carefully.
Yes, and
Keep
Mono
doing that.
Mono is resting on this island. And Bering has been standing on the top of the same palm tree for as long as you guys have been here.
I have been trying to find other palm trees that have a good vantage point.
But it's where you're comfortable. It's where you feel safest. It's where you have the best line of sight on everything that's going on for a stationary island.
It's like the crow's nest.
Exactly. Where you
You-
deserve to be.
You don't have to twist my arm anymore. I get it. Like I
I
said,
just want to
me-
hear you say yes.
I will say yes if I see the captain and have a conversation.
Can you give me a preliminary yes beforehand just to appease me for the slightest bit of not annoying you any longer?
I will appease nothing that you say or do.
Yeah, then I cannot confirm nor deny that I might be still a slight nuisance that I was before I got these abilities.
You will be a nuisance until the day that I die.
But I'll be your nuisance.
I cannot overstate how much I hate you. She looks over to Scarlet. This is what you are going to have to deal with.
Trust me, I know.
I'll just kind of make eye contact really quick with Core. Look down at Scarlet, shrug.
Do your best to find peace with whatever you believe in. Because this will just get worse and they just grow up and get more annoying.
I mean, they're men, so.
See, you get it. She smiles. At least
So-
this one gets it. We needed at least one more girl on the crew and I'd be fine. And she like picks Scarlet up in like a half hug, like a side hug.
Scarlet blushes so fucking hard.
Can we keep her? I'd like to keep her.
It's like the full on
then you're
anime hearts
taking
in
away
the
from their
eyes.
crew. Give them a chance to be a crew first. Then their captain will have to sustain a challenge from our captain, and we can take on the whole crew. We get another giant. Ren is
I
very
will-
knowledgeable.
I will give you a preliminary yes. And she looks to Scarlet. If Scarlet trusts you, look.
Scarlet doesn't even know what's going on. Right
Drake immediately looks to the others like, oh no.
Scarlet,
now. Huh?
do you trust Core?
Who's Core again?
That one.
Sure.
All right, you have your preliminary yes. She sat Scarlet down.
Thank you. Bering, I have a map for you. Ren, can you show Bering the map from Zala?
That is such a shitty way of making a deal. Just Barry heads over to Ren.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sure you've had eyes on this trailway. You've seen the people or creatures that have been moving in and out of it, so you could give us a better guideline on this pathway. Mono, there's some big stuff out there for you to be swinging on.
Good.
Way better than 12-year-olds. Turns to Ori, and we need a leader. We need somebody who's no bullshit. Who's going to make the executive call.
She kind of twirls the oar and then points it to Trent. You want to be a captain, right?
I do, and I am.
Cool. Then you're going to learn.
That's
All
all I
right,
ever want.
Core. You're holding up your end of the deal. I want to see the captain.
Entirely. I already have a ship that Guillotine has no idea is even here. That once we finish this for Zala, I could take all of us to the island. I could take all of us to see the captain.
I'm going to hold you to that. In the meanwhile, and she takes another one of the 6 drinks that Scarlet had poured and just downs that one. In the meanwhile, as it's been a bit, and I suppose we should refresh on some things, I have some news. Guillotine is not here. At least it wasn't in the manor hold that he normally is, which means he's somewhere else on the island.
Okay.
Probably on a hunting trip, if I had to guess.
That was the whole point of the tablet. Shouldn't you trying to hunt the Leviathan?
Flicks a thumb over to Scarlet. You're right on some parts of that, yeah. However, Guillotine likes to go on hunting trips, finding some dangerous animals on the island and killing them.
So
Which
who's
was-
all in
what's
the
this?
state house?
Probably some of his crew that's not, us. Rosa, more than likely.
Where is the state house at?
Center of town, kind of where the governance place was situated.
Cool. Cool.
That's where all the guards were. That's where I told you to avoid when we first got here.
Mhm.
Mono told me that you were already working really close with Guillotine.
Yep.
Do you know if any of his other heads are in there, or are they out with him?
Rosa's in there. She doesn't really join him on hunting trips. Outside of Rosa, Guillotine kind of tends to keep to himself on those trips. Actually, she kind of like holds up a hand. Actually, there is someone else, but he's not part of Guillotine's crew.
That's at the state house or with Guillotine?
With Guillotine, more than likely. Don't know the name, didn't provide it. Big wolf thing.
Okay.
Not a mink, but scary. Like Ori, just full on, just scary, terrifying. Did not want to talk to them.
Mm.
Okay.
They came off of that same weird ship.
You think it's another fruit?
Shakes her head.
It's just something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Is the hunt for whatever the
Ren, give me a history check.
the offering is supposed to be? Like,
I
is he
I think this is just for fun. They're waiting for
Okay.
something. What'd you get?
okay?
It was not a very good roll. I only got a 7.
Sounds familiar. Don't know the name. Definitely part of that crew, but no recollection of the name.
So, if he's out hunting with giant wolf person,
Mhm.
then we should be able to at least get Zavala's thing done fast
Mhm.
and not have to worry about him sending anybody in that direction. And we can finish that and we can be on our way.
Yeah.
And you guys are great. I am thankful for you, all of you. You have a ship, you have a crew, you have a goal. And if we can get everything going the way that it's supposed to,
We get Captain back on his feet. We go back for the Grand Line.
at least you'll have a friend on the ocean.
Yeah, up until we decide to start going after the One Piece, in which case you have the most dangerous enemies you could possibly imagine, and we will show no mercy against you.
You'll have to catch us first.
Oh, that's a challenge. She smiles.
I told you that, like, it's there. It's there, but they aren't seeing it yet.
So
She
I'm
looks
pretty
at-
sure
she-
we also have our own business there too.
She looks over to Scarlet. So is that challenge the same with you? Are you going to try to fight us?
I mean, if you want me to fight you,
I always want people to fight me.
okay, it's a date.
Oh, she smiles. Cute. I'm looking forward to it. Her grip on the oar tightens. And for a moment, I will have no perception checks for this because it's very easy to see. You see her skin around her fingers turns black for a second and then back to normal. Because Kuja.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna
Um,
get them fully rested for the night. We're gonna set out in the morning. If you have to continue your roll. I understand, but I'd much rather have you all with us.
When we set out in the morning, I'll find you. Until then, I have to play the part.
Can I warn you? You all were talking about not liking the ship with the two fronts.
Yeah.
That wolf person thing is probably from that ship.
I guessed.
Just so you know.
I took a guess on that. She pauses. How do you know that?
Oh, Ren knows a lot about a lot of things. I stopped being surprised by it some time ago.
Yep, and that's why.
He looks at Scarlet.
All I know is that Ren's really smart, and has some weird shit going on himself. So I mean,
Really weird.
he literally ate someone. Like that wasn't just like he's not just a cannibal. Like he
No, that
literally
was not a
turned into a
metaphor.
monster and ate a
I
was
fucking
Baring,
enemy.
who has been
hyperbolically.
Baring has been reading the map upside down, like looks up again and just okay, but seriously, we're not going to discuss that part. Like that's not the weird thing here.
It
this-
is very weird actually, but we're just
It was
moving
quite
past it.
weird.
If it's allowed of me, can I get a read on Ren?
Sure.
Insight check.
Because I rolled an 18. Surprising, isn't it?
Hey Ren, how you doing,
Ren,
bud?
roll deception. Hurry up.
roll deception.
My best stat. Hey, got an 11.
How you doing, buddy?
I mean, he's already, as we've discussed, a very anxious person, but with the mentions of this ship, he has been like way more focused on that conversation than that, like, because he's also very goal oriented, but he's not worried about this map right now. He's like only thinking about that ship and only thinking about whatever's going on with that. And that's why yeah, you know, he has a connection there. That's obvious.
Dreki will try to get your attention and kind of like subtly nod his head off to the side, like
Yeah.
to say, let's head off for the discussion.
Okay. Baron, you can here. You can read the map right side up. I don't. You're good.
Oh, it was upside down. Oh, fuck.
Okay. I'll be back.
and as you two depart and this conversation is happening, because I've realized that my wife forgot a thing and we're going to be wrapping up so I can grab that. We are going to do my favorite thing that I end episodes with is camera sweeping across the ocean to a ship composed of the two front halves of two different ships seemingly stitched together at the center.
Great.
Soft violin music can be heard playing in the depths of the ship as the camera cuts through the open doorways. It is not these wooden halls, but instead it seemingly looks as if hospital rooms have been stitched inside of the ship itself, creating long, narrow hallways and pathways. As the camera continues to move through, the violin music getting louder, through an open door much larger than the ship itself seems to have, we come to what appears to be an operating theater. Standing at the front of a gurney, a white cloth covering the body underneath it, a woman can be seen playing a violin, her hands gently sweeping the bow back and forth as the music continues to crescendo. Her head tilts up, snow white hair falling over a very, very pale face, as another hand reaches up and twists a screw at the side of her head, seemingly retiming herself. At the table, another hand gently sweeps down and pulls the white cloth out as the camera pulls back, and you see the same woman with 4 arms, 2 of which have seemingly been stitched at their sides, looking down at the figure as she gently sweeps the bow back across and opens two heterochromatic eyes. The right eye, a brilliant emerald green, and the left eye with black sclera and a mechanical look to the center of it, looks down at the body before her. She twists the screw at her head once more until there's a soft click. Now then, let's begin the operation, shall we? As her hands drop and re-emerge with several medical implements in each hand, that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Introducing the third of the hand. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm very, very happy that you had to take the time out of your day to watch. We will be back in 2 weeks' time for more. Everyone say who you are, where they can find you, something you're doing. We'll start with Ark. Where can we find you? What you doing?
Hello, everyone. I have been Core or Anchor Rhodes, but normally I am your Gridmaster, Lighthouse Keeper, Lore Rider, Beacon onto all beacons, Arc or Arclight Court. You can find me all over the internet at Arclight Court. I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays that I'm not here on twitch.tv/Arclight Court, and I do all things Power Rangers.
Luke.
I'm Luke. I have been Ren. I am not doing a lot right now. Sometimes you can find me writing on Goonhammer. Right now, frankly, you will find me covering court in my local area. You guys should join the Discord that we have for this game. I will send a link in chat. It is kind of just to hang out, but when I remember how time zones exist, there's a little reminder that we're streaming each week.
Rob.
Math Demigod. Wait, can you hear me? Okay, yes.
Yes.
Math Demigod on Twitch. Math Demigod on Twitter, but I'm spending less and less time there. You can better find me over at Blue Sky, also at Math Demigod. And finally, you can find my video game antics and also my own actual play over at youtube.com/gamingmathematically.
Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan or Red Panda Cola. You can find me anywhere and everywhere at Red Panda Cola. If I'm not here, I'm hanging out in different Discords and on different streams, just usually in the chat.
Paige.
Page, aka Pluto Cleric, everywhere on the socials, mostly Twitch, Threads, and Instagram right now. I'm not in the headspace to promo all my own shit right at the moment, but Castleton over on Winter's Tale for part 2 starts on Saturday that I am in with 100 other creators and a massive Bridgerton meets Hunger Games type game. And stuff I got planned for my character for part 2 makes me both excited and scared. So there's that. Yeah, I think that's all I got. Beyond that, just come say hi if you see me at PAX in, what is that, a month from now? That's wild. Yeah, about a month from now.
And then there's me. Hi. I do this. You can find me on Twitter still. I know it's a hellscape. I'm trying to move. I'm migrating everything over. I have a Blue Sky. It's my freaking name. So Javante at Blue Sky. Stuff that I'm doing. This on bi-weekly Thursdays. We have the finale for the Dragon Age The Masquerade game. This coming Monday, which is great. I feel so sad that I have to leave my Canary boy behind. Then I don't know. I do a lot of random things a lot. I have a casting call up for my next game for the start of next year. Hey, I freaking love the Nat 19 series over on YouTube. And there's setting guide, Somnus Domina, Lyra's Guide to Retia, Land of Industry, and Risk and Reward came out. And I have it. So there's a casting call for that. It's on my Twitter. It's on my Blue Sky. I see you, Ark. Ryan can send you the casting call. But that's up. If you want to be in a game that I DM, it's freaking there. I'm really excited to run it. Other than that, yeah, you can also find me on podcasts, on Playback Static, on wherever you can find podcasts, where I play Damien, a sad trans boy. And everyone, please be safe out there. We all love you. We all appreciate you. My spaces and everything around you are here for you for comfort, joy, entertainment. Don't let darkness win. Other than that, we will see you all next Thursday. Oh, sorry, next Thursday on the high seas. Love you all. Have a good night.